But Chris G ain't going to draw it up. Chris G don't have the experience. I have the ideas. I know what I want. Got some suggestions. But Rick Madrawer, he does a whole lot better job than I do. He does it every day. Chris looks at it maybe once a week if he's lucky, if he's got enough clients. But that being said, if you hire the right people and got the right people, they're going to help you. They're going to get you where you need to be and give you suggestions if you don't have any. There is a massive difference between control and leadership. We're going to talk about that today. Control's like staying on top of everything. Hell, it even feels good knowing what's going on, telling people what to do, telling them where to go, when to do it. But what you're doing is just managing fear. You ain't managing people. Control is limiting to you, limiting to your time, limiting to your people, and limiting to your money and finances at the end of the day. And that's what we're going to talk about. Control really is a lack of faith in your team, lack of faith in your processes, hell, lack of faith in your system. It's rooted in fear, and you got to manage that fear, or you think you got to manage that fear, and you don't. You got to manage people, places, things. You got to manage that process. If you know how you want something done, you need to write it down. Think about it. What would I do in this situation? If you have a certain way of doing it, then write it down, document it. The first thing in human resource class, document. If you ain't documenting, then you ain't managing. That's what a human resource person says, because you need to communicate. And that document can be digital, can be on paper. Hell, it can be a sign. Close the lid when you're done going to the bathroom. Whatever, wash your hands. That's a document. That's up to you. But the point being is, you have to document. You have to do it. Oh, and then by the way, I got a story. Hell, make sure people can read that you hire. Now, I talked about when I was sick and Danner died, and I ain't going to get into that, but I haven't told this story. Definitely not on the podcast. I've told some other people, but so I was sick. I got out of the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And we were building a house, and I had to go in. They had done some things while I was gone, and there were some scuff marks on the wall. And back then, I was even painting myself. Dumb me. But I had it painted, and there's some scuffs, and I'm trying to paint. And I went up there and I painted, and the stomach didn't match. It's like, what is going on? Here's the bucket they used, and I'm going there and I'm trying to make it match, and it's not happening. And I finally figured out what they did. My painters can't read. It's sort of funny, sad, but true. And they mixed satin with some semi-gloss paint. And if you know anything about painting, those two don't match. Those two don't mix. And I had a very little left in the bucket. And I felt sorry for whoever's going to buy this house, because they ain't never going to match this paint. But I left what I had, and I figured it out. But it was so irritating. I remember before I got sick where we were at with the house, and here's the paint. Hell, I even wrote on the top of it, trim, wall, ceiling. You'd think people could read. They can't. That's why you got to hire the A players. Hell, even B and C players need to read if you're going to hire them, but don't. Boy, I had to learn the hard way. The people you hire will take care of you if you get the right people. Leadership of that team. If you're hiring the A people, the A team will take care of you. Will create that clarity for you automatically. Leadership is clarity. Clarity when it comes to expectations, come to standards, and creating roles, clear roles. And the best part is that a team will help you create those roles for you, because typically they know more than you do if you're hiring the right people. A lot of times I know what I want. I just don't know how to get there. And I tell people, I hired you for this. You give me input. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you. But if you're hiring the right people with the right experiences, with the knowledge that you want them to know, they're going to take very good care of you. I'll give you an example. The other day I was talking to a customer, client. We were working on their floor plan, trying to find ways to save him money. Cut size of the house, square footage is really only real. He got to that point where he couldn't save any more money. And so we had to cut the size of the house. So we're going through these and taking a foot here and taking a foot there. And he says, well, how are you going to do this room? I don't know. That's not my problem. I have architects take care of that. I'm going to tell them what I want, and their job is to make it work. Now, I know there's a fine line there, boys. You just can't put a toilet in a 2x2 room, but I'm talking about realistic expectations of what we're trying to do. All they had to do was move something to a different wall and voila. But that ain't my deal. I saw it. The customer couldn't see it. It didn't matter. If that's what you want, we got to. If you want that room, it had to be a utility room. If you want that utility room, that's fine. We're going to have to change the locations of your washer and dryer. That's all we're doing. You're going to sink on the other side, but that gives us more room to get down where you need to be. But Chris G ain't going to draw it up. Chris G don't have the experience. I have the ideas. I know what I want. Got some suggestions. But Rick, my drawer, he does a whole lot better job than I do. He does it every day. Chris looks at it maybe once a week if he's lucky, if he's got enough clients. But that being said, if you hire the right people and got the right people, they're going to help you. They're going to get you where you need to be and give you suggestions if you don't have any. The cost of confusing leadership and control. Your team hesitates is one. Decisions are slow. Hell, that's because they're waiting on you. You almost create fear. It's like a dog shitting peach seeds. They scared to do anything and shaking because they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know how you react. But if you lead with clarity, you're giving people empowerment to make decisions. They feel part of your team, part of your A team that we talked about earlier. The best part is you finally get some breathing room to do the things that you need to do. That could be just spend time with the family. Could be on what you're going to focus on next in your business, how to create that more profits and so forth. Control creates dependency, but leadership increases capacity. It gives you whatever it is you need by relying on others to take care of you to do their job. I didn't have this note in here to myself, but I'm going to mention it too. How do people become part of your team? How do they feel that they are empowered or they're part of it? They're part of the ownership. Well, you're not going to give away the farm. You can't afford to. It's your idea. It's your baby. You're the captain. But I like sharing some of the spoils of your rewards, reaping those and sharing them with them. Let them realize that their actions can help them in their lives. If you want an A team and you're sharing, that A team will help bring on other A players as well. I've been very fortunate that way. Not only have I hired good people, those people have referred other people to me as part of the team that this would help us grow. So keep that in mind. That was a little sidetrack note, but I think it's important. No, I know it's important. But if you want good people to make good decisions, empower them. If there's a certain way you want it done, tell them, document. Now, that being said, what's leadership mean? Well, does it mean you go uninformed? I mentioned probably last week's episode, let go, but stay in the know. Get the information, know what's going on. Let them report to you somehow, some way. It could be through software. It could be through a report. It could be through a weekly meeting. Whatever is necessary for you to make you feel good about what's going on, but not let you worry about somebody taking care of it for you. You replace the micromanagement with structure. You replace checking with trust, and you fix problems with coaching. That's what leadership is. Now, as always, if you like what we talked about today, leadership control, then please hit like, subscribe, hell, even share if you're on Facebook. That'd be great. It helps everybody, helps me, helps the people that need to hear what we have to say. As always, God be with you till we meet again. This is Chris G, Hard Hat 2 CEO. Bye-bye.